Hey everybody, it's your boy John. Having a tough day at the White Claw factory, working hard, but it'll all be good when I get those claws at the end of the day. I'm coming with a review today of something a little different, a fantasy novel by Robert Jordan, The Warrior of Altaii. This is a book which apparently he wrote in 1979. It was with a couple of different publishers over the years, and they just forgot to print it or just never ended up printing it. It was before he started writing The Wheel of Time, which he's famous for, and before he actually did his Conan the Barbarian work also. So he did a lot of modern Conan work, which is hailed as some of the better Conan work out there. I have the books, but I have not gotten to them yet. I've read The Wheel of Time, and that's actually why I picked this up. He is one of my favorite fantasy authors, despite the fact that Wheel of Time is comprised of a bunch of door stoppers, and the middle books are really tough to get through. It seems like he just tried to drag it out as long as he humanly possibly could, and of course, then he died before he finished it, because that's what happens when you do something like that. Now this was found from the vaults, and it is just his old stuff, and it reads like a book from the 70s. I'm very excited about that. I'll get into it in just a second. You'll notice this is not a door stopper. It's not that big. It's about 350 pages, which made it pretty good reading. I'm very happy to see about that length. I didn't want a fantasy book which was going to be several hundred pages or whatnot. Get a little glare, sorry. Let's see. There we go. About as good as we can get it here. Burp. This is it. It's about a guy named Wolfgar. I swear I've seen the name Wolfgar before. I don't remember what it was from. Is it from like the Drizzt R.A. Salvatore novels? I don't remember. But he's a barbarian king, and their lands are getting all dried out, and savage beasts are kind of taking them over, making it difficult for their raiding parties and all that. And they are going to be on the brink of losing their barbarian society. There's this city called Lanta. Let me see. Lanta. And it is on the edge of the plain there. It's supposedly this giant fortress which has lasted for 1,000 years. Nobody's ever been able to take it because the walls are so thick. It's so well situated, and they've got a great defense force. And it's dealing with the barbarians versus them. Lanta, like their queens, decide that they're going to take them down, and Wolfgar has to figure out how to save his people and get through this. And so that's what happens. There is a lot of personal conflict between Wolfgar and the queens of Lanta. They have two queens. And the women in this are magic users, just like in the Wheel of Time. The men stay away from magic use. It's not that magic makes them sick like it does in the Wheel of Time. It's just they, just don't like magic as men, which is good. It's healthy to be fearful of magic. So, and the women do their thing with that. So Wolfgar is a great barbarian archetype. He did a really good job of the character. I mean, you could see this very well as a precursor to Conan, and how it would go very well. There's a bunch of slavery throughout the book. I'm surprised, I'm almost surprised it got published by Tor, because there's slavery in the book. There's, women get treated poorly and all that, and it's something that would trigger most people from Tor books at this point. So that happens. The slavery does get into weird sex slave degenerate stuff. It's like Robert Jordan read the Gore novels or something like that before reading this. And, I do not recommend it for kids because of that. And, it was a kind of weird aside in the book when it got into that stuff, before dumping back out into the high fantasy again. And I liked it when it got into the fantasy. So, I thought it was paced well all the way through. Like I said, the book's only 350 pages, so it kind of worked out great. There's a good resolution. And it's like a resolution where, you win some, you lose some. And is it really worth it? It's one of those things that makes you question your society. It makes you question traditions and how they change, and how society changes and all of that. And is it actually a good thing? Is it worth losing what we had before? So, it was pretty decent on that level. The battles at the end were a little bit boring. I would say that he gets into that epic fantasy writing, sort of detail where it's like 60,000 lances stood here and another 40,000 lances stood on the eastern plain, and it just gets into that description that is trying to sound impressive by having big numbers and making it sound like he knows his shit about, like, you know, medieval battle formations and things like that. But it ends up very boring and skippable stuff until you actually get into the personal action again. It isn't first person, which is why it's kind of weird when it gets into that part, and it doesn't really fit all that well. The first person stuff, you know, just draws you into the Wolfgar character pretty well, which I like. There is a weird part. I don't know. There's a slave that's brought in at the beginning who, like, you know, they do the whole prophecy thing, and they never really elaborate or go too deep into the prophecy. It's pretty good, in the fact that, like, it makes it feel like maybe this prophecy is a thing, maybe it's not a thing. I don't actually know, but it kind of ties up, and it ties up in a weird way too. You know, maybe one that's meant to have sequels or whatnot. I don't know. But it was worth the read. I enjoyed it. I thought this book was fun. And I wish they would publish more books like this, but they don't anymore because you can only get this if you're a dead guy at this point. I believe if this novel was submitted by some new author or whatnot, Tor would have absolutely declined it. And I think that's a shame because it was actually a pretty decent read. I'm pretty happy. So that's it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Subscribe, like, all that. And if you want more reviews like this, let me know. I will be back soon. See ya.